Okay, 2 videos in one day. I'm not gonna do too many because obviously I don't want to burn myself out. But here's what we're gonna do. I just bought this up in the NoFap video I uploaded yesterday, and we're gonna talk about how you know if something works for you or not. Okay, so what I mean by this, how do you know if what you're doing is the thing that's gonna work for you? And what I mean by that is, let's just take an example. Let's say you decide to embark on the journey of NoFap. How do you know if NoFap is for you? Because I know there's certain commitments and there's certain things that you're doing that you might be getting involved in that I want you to be aware of these things, right? Because there's things that you might be committing yourself to right now that you may just that you may be having difficulty committing yourself to. And you might even wonder if it's something you still should be committing yourself to, or something that you may be committing yourself to and you're like driven to commit yourself to it, but what you don't realize is this is actually really going to detriment you and you need to rethink your strategy, okay? So that's why I feel like this is really important. I need to get this video done today. So when I was talking about trying new things out, if you haven't watched the video, links in the description. And what I wanted to bring up was, how do you know if something works for you? How do you know if this is the thing that you need to work with? Or versus how if you try something, how do you know it's not going to work for you? How do you know it's not doing its thing? And that literally comes down to a simple thing. How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? For example, if I have you go on NoFap, okay? You don't masturbate for 7 days. And let's say just mysteriously, I don't know if this is an actual case. I'm just throwing something out there. Let's say all of a sudden you start to get a bunch of fucking side cramps. And, you know, every day you're waking up with like painful fucking headaches. And you're starving a lot. And yes, granted, you know, this could just be like an effect of change through it, okay? So, you know, that's noticeable if you're aware of that. But let's just say you do NoFap and you can't even concentrate through your day because it makes it's so much energy that you don't know how to deal with, or because you haven't busted that fap, because you haven't busted that nut, there's so much pain and like, hold on, what the fuck is this? Sorry about that. Okay, there's just, if it just doesn't feel good, like, and I know some of y'all might comment, like, hey, I mean, there's no case. I'm just like I said, I'm just throwing something out of my ass here, okay? If you were to do NoFap and it made you feel worse about your life, or if it just made life worse for you, and not in a sense where it's more difficult because it's challenging, I mean more difficult because it's you can't even really function that well, right? When you were fapping, you were fine. You was busting nuts, you functioned fine. You started doing NoFap and all of a sudden, rare case, but you know, all of a sudden you can't even fucking do shit, right? Your body's all kinds of fucked up, right? Let's say you want to become a vegan. You start eating plant-based foods. And let's say, you know, it's not working out for you. Let's say the caloric numbers are too low. Everything's just not working out for you. And it's just, if it doesn't make you feel good, right? Because versus someone like me who might try plant-based foods and might start trying to get on that diet, I'm like, damn, this shit is working for me. I pay attention to my body. I know how it makes me feel. I know it makes me go better about my day and work harder. I know it effectively works. Intermittent fasting is something I've been trying. I know that as I've been doing it, it's been challenging, but I actually feel better. Like, I'm doing this video fasted right now. It's like 11, 12, I think it is. I'm fasted, dog, and I'm hitting videos. I'm working, right? As opposed to if I have food, it kind of slows my thought process down. Right here, I could be just fucking hypercharged and talking. For you, you might try intermittent fasting and you can barely even fucking go through your day. You're just like, ah. Or, you know, you might start waking up at 5. But, you know, all of a sudden you start waking up at 5 and now you can barely even stay awake till 6 in the afternoon. I mean, 6 in the evening. Right? Pay attention to the way you feel. That's how you know if something's working for you or not. That's how you know. So if you're having difficulty, like for me, like I said, how 5's kind of difficult for me to always get up at that time, I know it works because I feel fucking great. I feel like a badass when I wake up at 5. I feel awesome. But it's just really hard for me to stick to that pattern. But I know it's something that I got to stick with to make it work out. For you, like I just said, if you're waking up at 5 but you're falling asleep at 6 and you're barely able to function throughout your day, right? It doesn't matter what time you wake up. It matters what you do during the hours that you're awake. And if you're only awake for like 11 hours, but let's say you wake up at 7 and you can stay up till 11, what's the better alternative there? What's really going to work out? You know? So that you really got to discern for yourself, how do these things make you feel? You know, don't just pick something up because they're doing it. It's okay if you want to try it and just see how it works for you. But you don't have to keep fucking doing it because that's what they did. If it's not working for you, stop doing it. You're just genetically not made for that. You ain't built for that. And it's not because you're weak. It's just you don't have what they have. It's just not something that works for you, dog. For me, I don't think 4 is a time I can personally get up at and enjoy my life. 5's a little better because it's closer to the sunrise and just the feeling I get. 5 is just a number, man. It just works. Just works, right? That's how you got to know for yourself. Calisthenics might be great for you. Weightlifting might suck. You might get tons of fucking injuries and shit there. Granted, you might not know what you're doing, but you go to calisthenics and all of a sudden it just works. You know what I mean? You have to be the judge. You have to be the discern. You have to have that discernment of, is this going to work for me? I'm going to throw a big one out there that people might get controversial on. School. Why stay in school? And I mean, I'm really talking about college here on the big one, to be honest. Why stay in college if it doesn't make you feel... Why commit yourself to college if it doesn't make you feel better about your life? Why commit to college if you're hating it? You know what I mean? Why stick with that? Why stick with getting a degree when it makes your life fucking awful? When you'd be better off working just now, just trying to develop your craft and self-educating than you would be learning from a professor whose guts you probably hate. You get what I'm saying? Notice the way your life responds to it. Notice the way your body responds, and notice the way it makes you feel. If it affects your life in a great way and you're just having difficulty sticking to it, keep sticking with it. If it's making your life suck, it's making it awful, it's making it worse, it makes you dread your fucking day, you don't even want to get up, then you might want to quit that. Otherwise, you're gonna fucking really suffer. Like, you know, someone says don't quit, just keep it going. You better quit, otherwise that thing's gonna fucking kill you. And it's gonna kill your quality of life, and it's gonna kill everything that you want to do. So, with that said, how do you know if you should keep sticking with something? Notice the way it makes you feel. If it's making your life better, if things are going well, and you know that this is something you should be doing, you feel like this is something you definitely should be persisting. Not from ego, but from the heart. Not from the mind, or trying to be better than anybody. Not from, I have to because I have to prove anything. Like, no. Stop trying to prove. Stop trying to make a point. Know from the heart whether this is something for you or not. And if you know from the heart whether this is something for you or not, then you continue to stick with it regardless of how you feel day in and day out. Right? But notice how it impacts your life. I know some people say remove emotion from the equation, stick with logic. You're going to have to understand feeling in order to know what works out and what doesn't. You can't use logic to figure that out. Otherwise, logic is going to be your downfall in this case. Okay? I'm not against logic, but I just need you to understand that this is where feeling kind of dominates this one. You got to notice. And once you know this is something for you, whether I feel like getting up at 5 or not, I know that I gotta get up. Whether I feel like working out or not, I know that I gotta work out. Because I know that during the process and I know that after, it's gonna be worth it. Sometimes starting is just the hardest part. So, with that said, that's how you'll determine it. Wish the best of luck to you in finding your commitments. And maybe if you're looking to try NoFap, this was the video you needed to determine whether this is something you need to stick with or whether this is something you need to back off of. So, bless up. Much love. Talk to y'all next time. Like, comment, subscribe as well. Alright? Please. Fuck.